It started with silence. For weeks, 31 Atlas drifted through the outer solar system, a mysterious object that astronomers first labeled as a comet, then as an interstellar anomaly. But even that classification didn't fit. It didn't behave like a comet. It didn't rotate like one. It didn't reflect light the way natural objects do. Then the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, was pointed toward it. What Webb found was something no one at NASA, Harvard, or the European Space Agency could explain. At first glance, the telescope captured faint heat emissions, small, irregular pulsing patterns deep within 31 Atlas's metallic surface. That was strange enough. But when researchers enhanced the infrared data, they noticed something terrifying. The heat wasn't random. It was moving. Something inside 31 Atlas was alive, or at least behaving like it. NASA astrophysicist Dr. Eileen Porter described the moment she saw the data. It looked like a heartbeat, a slow, rhythmic pulse deep inside what we thought was a lifeless comet. I felt my stomach drop. At first, the team assumed it was a thermal fluctuation, a trick of light maybe caused by reflection or trapped gas, but subsequent scans proved otherwise. The pulse was consistent, 41 seconds apart, precise. And growing stronger each day. Then came the chemical readings. Webb's instruments detected compounds that had no business being there: amino acids, carbon chains, and phosphorus isotopes, the essential building blocks of life. But here's the impossible part. They weren't scattered randomly. They were structured almost like tissue. As data streamed in, the object's profile grew stranger. 31 Atlas wasn't frozen ice and dust. Its outer shell was composed of highly reflective metallic alloys: titanium, vanadium, and something else unidentified. Beneath that shell, however, Webb picked up signals resembling biological movement, something shifting, expanding, and contracting like lungs drawing air. But air doesn't exist in the vacuum of space. So, what was it breathing? NASA called an emergency meeting. Every major observatory on Earth and in orbit began monitoring Atlas. What they saw next shook the scientific world. For the first time in recorded history, a non-human object changed its internal heat pattern in response to observation. When the Webb telescope's infrared sensors focused on it, the pulse pattern sped up as though it knew it was being watched. Then the unthinkable happened. On August 9, 2025, a faint radio signal was detected, not from the surface, but from within 31 Atlas itself. The signal was brief, lasting only 11 seconds. When decoded, it revealed a repeating sequence: prime numbers. In science, prime numbers are the universal sign of intelligence. At that moment, NASA realized this wasn't a comet. It was something else, something awake. And according to Webb's latest readings, it had started to move. 31 Atlas, which had been floating peacefully beyond Mars's orbit, began to shift direction ever so slightly, aligning its trajectory closer to Earth's orbital path. When asked if this could be coincidence, Dr. Porter simply replied, "No, it's steering itself." And now the whole world is watching. In the days that followed, space agencies across the globe scrambled to verify NASA's findings. The European Space Agency, Harvard's Center for Astrophysics, and even China's Deep Space Array confirmed the same thing. 31 Atlas was accelerating, not falling, but moving under control. That's when the panic began. Its course wasn't random. Its new trajectory was precise, aimed directly toward the inner solar system. Calculations showed that within 62 days, it would cross Earth's orbital path. Governments called emergency meetings behind closed doors. The public, unaware of the classified data, continued seeing vague news headlines about strange movements in NASA's mysterious comet. But insiders knew this was no natural phenomenon. When Webb's instruments zoomed in further, the object revealed something terrifying. Faint cracks had appeared across its metallic surface, but instead of splitting, they were opening underneath. Light-soft blue at first, then white-hot, pulsed out in rhythmic bursts. It wasn't sunlight reflection. It was internal illumination. Engineers at NASA likened it to windows lighting up inside a ship. But if it was a ship, what was inside it? Then a new transmission arrived. Unlike the earlier signal, this one was much stronger and encoded in frequencies far more complex. Using quantum filters, researchers isolated a pattern that repeated every 22 minutes, artificial modulation resembling language. The pulse formed a waveform, then broke into harmonics, like tones or syllables. Dr. Ethan Core from Harvard explained, it's not just random data. It's structured sound. Someone or something is trying to communicate. But communication wasn't the only concern. Webb's sensors detected micro-movements along the cracks, shifting mass inside the object. It looked like tendrils or limbs or mechanical appendages folding and unfolding in rhythmic motion. The object's internal temperature rose by 43 Kelvin, indicating activity. Whatever was inside 31 Atlas, it was waking up. On August 29th, NASA's Deep Space Network recorded one final chilling anomaly. As the James Webb Telescope tracked 31 Atlas, the object suddenly emitted a bright energy surge, a flash so intense it briefly overloaded Webb's sensors. When the system recovered, the object was no longer stationary. It was moving directly toward Earth, accelerating faster than any comet ever recorded. Within hours, every radar and telescope locked onto it. Its current velocity suggested intelligence, controlled propulsion. But propulsion requires energy, and no known material could survive that kind of sustained acceleration. So, where was it getting the power? Harvard's latest hypothesis: it's alive. Not just alive like a human being, but alive like a living machine-on organism that fuses biology with technology. A biomechanical entity that can sustain itself, heal, and travel across interstellar distances. Some believe it's ancient, possibly millions of years old, drifting between star systems until reawakened by light, gravity, or even our observation. And now it's coming closer. As of this moment, 31 Atlas is less than 120 million km away and closing in fast. Its pulses are now visible through mid-range telescopes, flashing every 17 seconds, faster, brighter.